Our plumbing cabinet was something that we absolutely hated in our last build, but this time I think we nailed it. So the start of this project, just like every other project, began at the saws. We went ahead and cut all of our pieces and components all at the same time using a cut sheet that we created from our SketchUp file. It was now time for the assembly process, which features a ton of Kreg pocket hole jigs, and then we just went ahead and started piecing everything together like Legos, since the labeling system that we were able to use from our SketchUp file made it super simple. This primer was paired with our paint at the store and essentially just provides better bonding for the paint while blocking out all of the wood tones and grain. After the first coat dried, I went over everything with 220 grit sandpaper, then I wiped everything clean and applied a second coat. I then followed this same process with the paint color of our choice. Once everything dried, I went ahead and went over all of the other wood with an oil-based sealant that also has a hardener built inside of it to ensure that the wood has a protection against water damage. Now I'm going to pause for a quick second to introduce myself to those of you who do not know me. My name is Riley Clark. I am a nature photographer and filmmaker based out of Las Vegas, Nevada. For those of you who have watched a lot of my content and are curious to what is different with this setup, well, I have been on the road the last week and will be on the road for another week straight here. I have been in Colorado the last little bit chasing fall color, and I have been filming and documenting all of my process. So I am looking forward to sharing that content with you here very soon. Now back to those of you who are new to the channel. This channel focuses primarily documenting my time as a nature photographer and filmmaker. This includes taking you guys on my adventures out in the wild. And from time to time, we do build videos like this and also product reviews of nature-esque style pieces of equipment that you might find yourself using. If that sounds like something that you might enjoy, then maybe consider hitting the subscribe button down below. Now, the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about during this brief commercial break is I have my 2024 calendar pre-sale going on right now. You can pick up my 2024 calendar at a low discounted price of $22.50. Once this pre-sale is over, the price will be jumping up to $35 per calendar. Now, the reason I run a pre-sale is it helps me judge how many calendars I need to order because I am a small business. I don't like to have a ton of product that I don't need. These calendars will be shipping out at the end of November, so you'll have them in time for the holiday season if you want to use them as a gift or for planning for the new year. Now, this is where the fun begins, piecing together the plumbing system. Now, installing the cabinet to the van was actually pretty simple. We just made sure that it matched the depth of the electrical cabinet and then used self-tapping bolts to drill into a structural steel piece that we have mounted for our bed system. We then went ahead and made a slight cutout in the cabinet though, so that the fill port could fit through easily. I first went ahead and put all of the fittings needed into my tank, making sure to use the correct amount of Teflon tape. So I went ahead and ran my 2 main long runs and mounted them before I put the tank in, since this is going to be unavailable to me later. Now in this build, we are using primarily PEX B and SharkBite fittings. Now I'm going to jump in here real quick to talk to you guys about the difference between SharkBite fittings and Uponor fitting. These are the 2 primary fittings that I have seen van lifers use. I know people also use just regular PEX with the crimp tools and stuff, but primarily a lot of the big van channels are pushing these 2 systems. Now SharkBite is expensive per fitting. I think you're looking at like $8 to $9 on some of those fittings, so it can be pricey. The Uponor system requires a tool that's about, I want to say $200. You need to look at cost per fitting that you have in your system, per also like if you need to go buy that tool. I have used the Uponor system as well. It is nice. It uses the expansion tool. If the expansion tool starts to malfunction though, piecing that system together is a pain in the butt. So I personally like the SharkBite system because it's just push to connect. And if I ever need to do any maintenance, I can pull those pipes apart and reattach them later with no problems. Now, I also like that SharkBite you can find at your local hardware stores. I am starting to see the Uponor system showing up as well at like Home Depot and Lowe's. So that's not as big of a plus anymore. For those of you curious why I'm using the system, it actually made more sense cost effective wise for me to use the SharkBite system compared to the Uponor, because our plumbing system is very simple. Now, the other types of tubing we're going to be using is vinyl tubing for the fill port and the drain and the air vent tube. And I also have a bit of vinyl tubing on the system side of things, since a silencing kit that we got for the pump came with vinyl tubing. This also helps with the small space that we're working with, so I was a big fan of it. Now, it's hard for me to really show the full install since it was kind of difficult to fit the camera and my big head all in this same area. So if you guys would like a more in-depth breakdown of my plumbing system, then drop a comment down below to let me know. I will say though, our plumbing system is very simple and minimalist compared to other van lifers out there. After a quick leak test, it was time to put the face back on and admire our work. Now, if you guys want to see what the full design of this new and improved camper van is, then go ahead and click right here to give that video a watch. And also, if you guys are curious to pre-order my 2024 calendar, you can do so by clicking right here. Thank you guys. I will see you in next week's video. I have some photography to go do.